Lessons, life lessons. One of the greatest life lessons that I've learned in my life is to learn how to focus on you. Let me say that again. Learn how to focus on you. See, reality is when you're younger, many of us become products of our environment. And your environment can really be what you focus on. And don't get me wrong, a lot of challenges come in the external environments too. Let's just say in your home. Let's just say in your home, your environment is peaceful. Let's say in your home, you're being raised by your mom or your dad, or you only have one, whatever the case may be, but they want the best for you and they push for the best for you to become the best product of life. But at the same time, let's just say once you step out of those doors and go into an external environment, it's not so nice outside. See, you could either adapt to that environment or you can block out, tune out whatever's going on and focus on what your parents is teaching you. And that's one of the biggest challenges, and I'm not going to get into my personal experience. This isn't that. I'm just saying at the end of the day, even if you grow up on the not so nicest streets, you can still develop a safe space or a bubble within your own to protect what it is that you represent. But it starts with focusing on yourself, man. Focusing on what's important. In brief, I will say and share that, I did kind of get sucked into that portal of listening and watching and observing and somewhat adhering to the external, the things that I saw. And let's face it, some of it, I didn't have much of a choice. Some of it was by force, being pushed out there into that element, having to learn how to survive, doing what I got to do to survive. But while I'm out there in survival mode, there was also a part where I have to hold myself accountable because some of that lifestyle was flashy to me. Some of that lifestyle I thought I was embracing. Some of it I did embrace at the time. But it was still a choice to a degree. So again, some aspects of it, I was pushed into it. So that was all I saw. That was all I saw was the external side of things to where I was influenced very heavily. You feel me? But at the end of the day, I grew to a point. I was fortunate enough to be one of the ones who survived those environments and grew to a point where I realized that I got to focus on me. If I want to get out of this environment, if I want to develop as a person, if I want to change my situation, if I want to change my position in life, then I got to focus on me. I got to do something about it. I got to do something about myself. I got to change what it is, the makeup of how I go about my everyday life to get better results, to start watering to a new garden, to start being productive within my life, to start challenging myself to become a better version of myself. And so over a period of time, I understood this concept. Nobody told me. I figured it out on my own. I figured it out. One way was the hard way, but I figured it out. I bumped my head many times, but it was one particular time when I bumped my head. And I looked in those barbed wires. I looked outside and all I seen was trees and barbed wire. And that was the moment that I said, I'm going to start focusing on myself. That's what it took. Now, I'm thankful and I'm glad that I got a chance to have a second chance at life. And I told myself, I'm never going back. I'm never going to be looking through a hole. I'm never going to look and see only one bath, or should I say a toilet seat in the corner where everybody can use it. I'm never going to be in a position or put myself to do everything in my power to not put myself back in that position where I'm looking through a window and I see trees and barbed wires. I told myself, I'm going to focus on me. And that's exactly what I did. But it took for me to make that conscious effort and wake up and say, you need to focus on you. And I've told this story before to anybody who has been watching my channel, that once I set myself down, I realized how broken I was. I realized how out of tune I was when it came to who I was, because I'd never set myself down. I never set myself down and asked myself or realized what my life was put here for. I never asked myself, what do I want out of life? I never done that. So I had to step into a new environment mentally. I had to step into a new environment and birth a new version of me. So I was a baby all over again, trying to figure out how to make this thing work when it came to the new chapter and the new phase of my life of growing. And it started with me saying, I got to work on me. And that's exactly what I did. I didn't know how to become. I didn't know how to figure it out. I just said, I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to start by subtracting. And that's what I did. This ain't working for me. I may not know what works, but I'm going to tell you what I know is not working. Hanging out on the corner is not working for me. Rule that out. Hanging out with these group of people, you know, some of them may be cool. Some of them may have my best interests at heart. Some of them may not have. That's life. But at the end of the day, process of elimination, I got to go the other way. I have to go the other way. You know, I have to cut this off, cut these people off. Again, I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what life holds for me, but I started by subtracting. And it worked for me because that time that I was using and dedicating to doing something that was not constructive in my life, now I have this free time in my life to think. I have this free time in my life to figure me out. I have this free time in my life to where now that I've asked myself, what do I want? I have this free time to figure it out. So that's what I'm going to do. And how I started to figure out me was simple things. A lot of times it don't have to come to you all together all at once. For me, it started with my hobbies. I said, you know what? I'm going to start with what I like doing. You know, the things that I want to do. I wanted to start working out, so I started going to the gym. I was playing basketball. I was doing simple things, and those little things, to me, I would say those are victories. That's a small victory in a big way, though. To go from being in environments that did not serve any purpose for my life, did not bring value to my life, to say, even though I don't know what I want out of life, even though I don't know where I'm going, let me just do something that brings joy and fulfillment to me. Let me, at the very least, do something that I know will put a smile on my face. Maybe this is something that can stir up my gift. Maybe this is something that can cause me to go down a path where I can start discovering more things that I enjoy. And that's where it all started with me. Now I'm occupying my time by doing things that may seem small to the average person. But for me, it was a big deal. For me, it was huge because I shifted. And a lot of the times, a shift may not look big in the beginning, but when you shift, my goodness, it is much bigger of a deal than you think. It's like if you're driving on the road and you're going the wrong way, and you see the sign that says, this is where you really want to go. Guess what? You could have ignored the sign or not have seen the sign and kept going in the wrong direction. Or once you see that sign, gee whiz, let me turn around. That's not where I really want to go. Let me turn around and go. That small decision that may not have seemed big could have either, bam, you ignored it and you're really traveling way, way further, much further away from your actual destination, the place that you want to go, the places that you want to go, the destination that you really want to be at. The sooner you catch it, the sooner you bust that U-turn, the closer you can get to where you want to get. So it may have seemed small to someone else that I'm just in the gym playing basketball. The whole time I'm just trying to figure me out. It may seem small to the average person that I'm in here lifting weights trying to figure out how to put on size. Whole time it's a big deal to me because it led to me developing and becoming a career-driven individual. It taught me a lot of different things just traveling this journey. It brought me to where I'm at by doing that thing that appears small, but it was big to me. See, what you're doing in this process is the goal is to capitalize off of the wins. The goal is to capitalize off of the short-term wins, the small victories, the small wins, bro. Not short-term, I'm sorry, the small wins. You want to take those small wins and capitalize off them. Now that's making a conscious effort, all right? I see that I like this, let me invest more into that. I see that I like that, I like training, let me see where it takes me. Next thing you know, I'm getting educated about fitness, this, that, and the third. I had no idea that I would actually develop such a passion for fitness to where even now, years later, I'm still doing that thing. I'm still training. I still work out. I'm still educating people because I decided to make that turn and change my life and go in a direction that not only benefits me, but also benefit those around me. That not only serves purpose in my life, but also add value to the lives around me. From making that one small change, from making that U-turn sooner than later. Many of my friends didn't get a chance to make that U-turn. So every opportunity I get to be grateful today, to be thankful today, to be grateful for every single time I get to do this again, I'm humbled and I'm grateful. And I thank God for this opportunity. And my goal is to make use of it. and continue to add value to the lives of others. But it took for me to focus on me. And a lot of the times you're not seeing the results in your life because you're not focused on you enough. You may be somewhat focused on you. You may not focus on yourself at all. You may be focused on what everybody else is doing, paying attention to what everybody else is doing, ignoring you. Not realizing how bad out of shape you was. When I was in that environment and I set myself down, I didn't realize how bad out of shape I was when it came to who I was spiritually, bro. I didn't know that until I challenged myself. You don't know how out of shape you are because you walk, every single day living a normal life. Get on a treadmill and go sprint. You'll see where your conditioning lies. And a lot of the times you don't realize how out of shape you are. Even if you look in the mirror, you may not realize it until you get on that treadmill and test yourself. Sprint. Do whatever it is that's going to let you know where you really are. You feel what I'm saying? Focus on yourself. That's what I encourage you to do. It's so important. I make it my business every single day to prioritize me, to prioritize my life, my growth, and be intentional about that. It's crucial that we focus on ourselves throughout our journey. Not saying that we take away from others. Not saying that we don't control. Like I said, my goal is to add value, and provide a service to people in life, man. Add value to people's lives. But how can I be effective in your life if I'm not effective in my own life? How can I be able to pour the best quality cup of water, bro? That good, pure quality cup of water in your cup if I'm not feeding and nurturing myself? How can I do that? And in order to do that, I got to sit myself down. In order to do that, I got to organize myself. In order to do that, I got to be consistent in my behaviors, consistent in my walk of life. I got to be consistent, get up, train, focus on the things that's going to better me in general in life, take care of me, and I can take care of others. Strengthen me, mind, body, and spirit, and I can potentially inspire another life to be a strong version of themselves. If I'm focusing on being a non-productive, poor version of myself, then that's what I'm pouring out. That's the message that I'm giving to the peers around me, to the world. But if I'm focusing on being a good version of myself, a quality version of myself, working on the qualities of my own life, then it's likely that I'll reproduce that. And those who see it can benefit from it. Those who it's for will benefit from it. But it won't happen. It can't happen unless I focus on myself. It can't happen for you, and it won't happen for you until you take time out for yourself and focus on yourself. And over a period of time, man, you'll bring so much joy to yourself. You'll start seeing yourself, being rewarded with the fruit from your labor. You'll start seeing yourself being rewarded from the hard work that you pouring into yourself, that you're devoting to yourself. And trust me, man, energy, it rubs off, man. That good energy will rub off. People will benefit from you pouring into yourself. And that's what it is. What you put into yourself, what you pour into yourself is what you likely will reproduce. If you pour poison into yourself, you're going to reproduce poison. If you pour positivity within yourself, you're going to reproduce positivity. If you speak life within yourself, you're going to reproduce speaking life into the world, into the universe, into the atmosphere. So you got to be careful and cautious with how you speak. You got to be cautious with how you speak to yourself, ultimately, because what you think and how you speak to yourself, again, is what you manifest. It's what you produce. It's the life that you live, because it's all perception based. Life is really how you see it. It's really your perception. If you don't believe in yourself, then it's true. It's true, because that's what you feel about you. But if you believe in yourself, the same person in the same pocket, this moment of time within your life, if you believe in yourself, then that's also true. The next step is to put B to A. The next step is to put fire up under your behind and get to work and work on yourself every single day. You have to work on you in order to grow and evolve every single day. Yeah, that path to greatness, it ain't always easy. It's not always going to be comfortable. That path to greatness is going to require some work, some internal digging every single day. That's why you have to take time out to focus on you, so that you can lock in, man. So that you can, while life does go, and sometimes it's so fast paced, we don't sit ourselves down, but that's why you have to be intentional. That's why you have to prioritize yourself and be intentional. You have to, because you will get knocked and shoved around. Life will shove you around and push you around if you let it. But if you set the tone and work on yourself every single day, If you set the tone and prioritize you, you're going to live a different life. You're going to live a better life. You're going to live a bona fide version of yourself every single day. You feel what I'm saying? Or at least that's the standard, because reality is we all have days where we're challenged, but at the same time, when you set the tone, you're likely going to know how to deal with adversity when it hits. When you work on you, you're likely going to know how to deal with adversity when it hits. When you work on you, you're likely not even going to really be fazed by it, because you know how to deal with it, because of how durable you're making yourself from working on you, because of you knowing yourself in any situation and knowing how to handle yourself in any situation, in any environment. I was in the Navy, new environment, but I trusted myself because I was challenged in so many different environments to where I knew who I was. In all of these environments, you know, I was at risk because of, you know, how I was at risk because of the demands that it would take to survive in each environment. But I learned how to maneuver by way of being in those environments. Whole point is, man, once you become so sure of you, once you become sure of yourself, nobody can knock you off your pivot. Nobody can take you out of your position. But you have to sit yourself down and gain that clarity within you. You have to learn how to sit yourself down and work on yourself so much to the point where nobody's opinion will matter. Work on yourself to where you know within yourself what you need, your wants and needs in life. You don't need an opinion from nobody else, because you know who you are from working on yourself inside out every single day. But you got to sit yourself down. You got to work on you in order for you to actually fully thrive. Be in thrive mode, have thrive mode turn on in your life, and elevate to higher heights and grow to places that is beyond your own imagination, your wildest dreams. But you got to work on you. If you guys appreciated this video, like the video, subscribe to the channel. More content like this on the way. I appreciate all the love. You see me looking down, my phone is right there, and it keep going, lighting up. But anyway, as always, do what brings life to you. No, I appreciate all the love and support that we get. I can't do it without you guys. This is a positive vibe community. Come through in the comments and share your thoughts. Let's chop it up in the community, man. I want to see a positive vibe community. I want to see nothing but people that is on a mission, people that is on that dream driver's legacy mission, trying to become better versions, trying to become established in their life, whether it's in their spiritual life, physical life, business, whatever it is, man. Whatever it is that you dream of, man, be a dreamer. Be a dreamer. Believe in yourself. And that's what this community is about, Dream Driver's Legacy. Can't do it without y'all. As always, do what brings life to you. And it's a great chance that you'll bring life to whatever it is that you do. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Till the next one, peace and blessings. One love, strength.